All right, guys, we're going to wait a second just to make sure we have audio going. So let's testing. We're so professional. Oh, okay. The live stream's finally catching up. Let's see here. Do we have audio? All right. Hey, we've got audio, so we are good to go. That is a different video. So welcome, guys. This is the first ever Driver Motorsports podcast. We're going to be talking about a lot of different stuff. This is kind of a new outlet for us. So we're going to be this first one is going to be with Chris. We're going to be doing some with just us as well, but we're going to be doing a bunch of guys like throughout the industry, different influencers and all kinds of different people. We've got a bunch lined up, and I know a lot of you guys are probably going to dig this because it's a longer format. We can get more in depth with stuff that goes on. Exactly. And it's live. So, so it is what it is. And it's going to be funny because, when we mess stuff up, it's going to be really good. Jeff said he can hear us. Awesome. Just so you guys know, there is like a 20-second latency. So if you ask us questions, it'll take a while for us to come through. But if you do have any questions as we start talking about today's topic, just let us know. We'll try to get to as much of them as possible. We don't want to draw this out forever, but yeah. So today's topic is basically what it takes to import cars to the U.S.
Importing it into the country. I guess the first thing you gotta do is you gotta find the cars. Either at an auction, from a dealer, look for dealer cars in both Australia and Japan. We kind of stay.
It's an understatement.
So let's say this time actually.
Yeah.
But we're not shopping here. That's important.
Yeah.
Those cars, and then I talked to my broker, if you will, my contact in Japan, and we'll go over the cars, go over all the auction sheets, and probably pick 5 or 6 out of that list right away. It might be down to 5 or 6 at that time. And the main guy I deal with goes to the auction and actually looks at the cars himself. And in Tokyo, Yokohama, he'll go to the auction, look at the cars for me. I'll be talking to him on the phone. He'll, the biggest thing we check for is rust. We make sure that the car is not rusty. Window movements are a lot of money actually to replace all those in the back glass. You got to take glass out. A lot of money actually. And then interior, I'm always looking for a sucker for a good interior.
That's like a make or break on these cars, though. Really, Thousands. And time, because you got to find the parts too. That's the other thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Three cars. So from those 3 cars, I'll have to decide how much money I'm going to try and spend on these cars. And I'll put my bids in, and then two, and he's live bidding on. So that's important. A couple ways, because if you put that computer, it'll just go to that number, basically. Okay. The way the options work.
That's interesting.
But
Yeah.
it's
Gotcha.
and it happens fast anyway.
Yeah.
You know, you may want to just lay off that car because you know it's going to. It might go right past it. All right. Too bad.
You spent hours, yeah.
Okay.
Well, these are like massive lots too. You know, they're auctions. So, yeah.
Cars, premium section. Crazy. How many cars there are there actually? So I don't know. Refresh my memory. Where we at? We're at.
You bid on the car.
It's done. Three hours, you know, looking at it, talking. Time, and we don't get anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I won a couple cars. They go into storage. The good thing about Yokohama.
Yeah. You're gonna have to speak up.
What, you can't hear me?
You're gonna have to speak up.
I'm speaking pretty loud.
Yeah, it's because I'm right here. Right here.
Oh, so I gotta be like this. This isn't social distancing
Oh,
at all. What are we doing
let's
here?
try that.
All right, is that better?
I can check the input level. Let's see. Let me see here.
Well, we're gonna have to solve this issue. We're gonna have to have a separate microphone or something. We can
Yeah, well, I
place
mean,
in
this is, we can bring,
a better mic in.
yeah, see,
What
now
about-
you're,
what
now
about
you're
the
good.
mic on the camera. Is that better?
I feel like that's further away.
You'd be surprised how good that is.
Ed says this is good. So we can just get more comfy over here. All right. So hopefully we have the audio fixed, guys. Cool. Thank you, Brad. Yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
You
So
hear me?
everything's
Speak
good.
up.
I think it's just because it's
Alright.
using this and it's like on a weird, it's got
The
like a
cool
weird
sauce
clip
behind this awesome Spectrum turbo manifold right
for the
here.
1JZ.
Yeah, the
Crystal.
1JZ.
And this is a big old turbo for Brad's car.
Oh yeah, this is Brad's turbo.
Yeah.
Okay, that's for you, Brad.
All right. So we were at, my seats are looking hot back there. Yes, they are. So basically we've bought the cars.
Well, we haven't technically paid for them yet.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
So now I have to wire 80 grand off to Japan, right?
Yeah.
And this is why you better trust wherever you're wiring money to, because you're wiring 80 grand across, halfway around the world. And it's a scary thing sometimes. So you're wiring a bunch of money off to Japan, and now you pretty much own the cars, and they get booked on a ship to come over to the United States here. We'll get cars shipped into Baltimore and Newport News. There's multiple ports, around the country that the ships hit on their way around. Basically, come through the Panama Canal into California, from Japan across the Pacific to California, and then they'll come up through the Panama Canal, hit some Caribbean islands, and then come up to Florida, Jacksonville, and Savannah, then Newport News, Baltimore, and Newark. So those are the ports that the ships come in from Japan. Yeah. And then they'll come from Australia first and then go to Japan, then across the Pacific. So that's kind of how that works. Pay for that. That costs between $900 to $1,200, depends on the size of the car. They go off of cubic meters of the actual car height, length, whatever. If it's a flatbed and it has a tall cab at the front, they're going to measure up to that cab, and they consider all that the volume. So you're going to pay a lot of money for something like that.
Like the Land Cruisers.
Land Cruisers are more expensive.
Because almost
for sure.
all
They're
of
big, man.
Yeah, I mean, all the ones that we get are
Jacked
massive. They're monster trucks.
Yeah, our most recent customer got his Land Cruiser, and he loves it. Absolutely loves it.
That thing was sick too.
I know, that thing was badass. So that's how we get the cars, and they're getting shipped here, and then I get them picked up by a company that I hire, that I trust, to go get these cars, like 3 at a time, basically, and bring them to us. And then we got to title the vehicles. Well, in between there, I should say, is U.S. Customs.
Which is the worst.
That's the most pain in the ass part of the whole thing, is before the ship leaves port in Japan or wherever it's leaving from, in Australia or whatever, you have to have an ISF filing. And this is like documentation saying where it's leaving from, who owns the car, who's it coming from, who you're buying the car from. All this information has to be laid out. The estimated time of departure, the ETD from Japan, let's say, and the ETA when it's coming, what port it's leaving from, what port it's going to, blah, blah, blah. It's, all the information that has on this shipment has to be kind of, we have a customs broker, and we pay them to deal with filing all this documentation. So we give them the information, they file it, we get an entry number. That entry number is for that shipment, and that's the U.S. Customs entry number. And then you also have a bill of lading, and that's from the shipping company. So bill of lading from the shipping company, you have customs entry number.
I'm already confused.
All right, it's technical. There's a lot to it, man. I mean, that's the
really
deal.
Does.
I mean, there is a lot to this. And I mean, when I first started doing this, it was figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
now everybody and their mom can.
It's tough.
Think they know how to do it. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, you can get it done. We offer that service, but it's not our, main business is not to import cars for other people. We will do that. A lot of people are buying R34 GTRs through us.
And we're holding them.
With that though, like, we need the money up front. I mean, we're talking 70, 80 grand,
Yeah, and then storage fees.
And storage fees, it's like $3,000 a year, but that's indoor storage. They keep the battery charged up. They'll drive it around some. It's a trusted facility that we trust. Yeah. So that costs money.
Yeah.
And
I need to buy an S15 and just have it sit over there.
The thing is, you have to have that money.
I know, dude.
Send it over there and just let it sit. Right? So
yeah.
It's tough.
Crazy.
So, but with S15, R34, you know,
Your
more
model
likely,
33 GTR.
not definitely, you never know what's going to happen with COVID shit going on right now.
Yeah.
Right. So, but granted that the prices are probably going to be a lot higher. So if you can buy it now, you're going to save a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that's the key to it is, but you have to have the money.
Yeah.
To just be able to sit on that money for 4 years for R34 GTR, you know? So yeah, we got all the paperwork, right? So we got to take care of all that and get all that done. And then customs, they don't check all your cars, but when they do, it could be a problem. Just like right now, we have a car that's on a bill of lading with other cars, okay? But this one car got checked out by U.S. Customs, and they found some grass seed from Japan on it.
Is that what it was?
Exterior, yes.
Oh my gosh,
They
they said
noxious weed.
Oh, okay.
Noxious weed.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So it was some grass seed, probably from sitting at the port in Japan somewhere, right? I mean, you know,
I thought
some grass and it probably blew.
I hadn't heard the update on like what it actually was.
So this
That's
is
crazy.
what's happening. So they found some grass seed on it, and we have to pay a company to go into the port and clean the car, and they have to clean the inside, outside, all of it, under supervision of somebody from U.S. Customs. And all this costs, well, I don't really know all the costs that it's going to end up being, because Customs might charge me something for going back and checking it. I'm not kidding. They'll penalize you, right, and have you do that, and then they'll say clean it, and then you get it cleaned, and then they'll charge you more for verifying that it's done. So there's that, and then the companies, it's $550 to clean the car. That's how much we're getting charged.
So a set of tires
I mean, right? So, and this is a Glory. It's like a Y32 Glory. It's not even that expensive a car or whatever, but $550. But that's not the kicker. The kicker is that right now, these companies don't want to go into the port and clean our car because of the COVID-19.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that car is in limbo, right? But there's other cars on this bill of lading that are now stuck. We can't get them. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, what's on that?
Just sitting
the 32. We've got a GTR on that one.
Yep, and Land Cruiser and RX-7. No, another Gloria. The Gloria, okay. Land Cruiser, R32 GTR, and I think I got another car on there too. I can't remember. But needless to say, cars are being held up at port, and we can't get them. So they're just stuck, and I don't know how long that's going to be. And we're going to have to pay storage, because where they're at the port, they charge us money for every day that the car's there. So that's just ticking away. Tick, tick, tick. Multiple cars. The money's going up, up, up.
Yeah.
What we're going to get charged. So I don't have a clue what's going to happen really with the whole coronavirus and everything happening right now. Yeah. So I'm not 100% sure when we're going to get these cars, but that's locking us up, because I need to get these cars, get them in here.
Yeah.
You guys get them ready.
Yeah.
And I sell them out the door and get money in to send off to Japan to buy more cars and get more cars rolling. And I got to keep that train rolling and keep those cars pumping through here.
Yeah.
And this is why people are always like, you don't have any inventory. You don't really have anything for sale. That's because we sell them so fast.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we'll sell them before they even get here.
Especially 32s, a lot of RX-7s. Those
even the Glorias.
Yeah, I mean, well, now because they know what we're doing to these things.
Yeah, they look good.
They're looking good. Like we got all these sets of wheels that are, a lot of them are for like Y32s.
Yeah,
because
they're VIP.
I mean, VIP wheels, some 19s, some coilovers on a Y32.
These wheels right here are for sale.
Oh yeah,
by the way,
those 18s.
Yeah, these look awesome on a Z32.
Inky, there's some
RSO4 or RSO5.
Yeah.
They look so good. We had a black Z32. Check it out on our website. I had these on it, the video. If you got a Z32, you're gonna want these. fine.
Yeah, they look good,
They look
and
so
they're
good.
good fitment for like a Z.
They probably fit an
Um,
RX-7, all right?
They might be a little aggressive for an
They may
R7
be.
because they're pretty wide
They are.
and they're low offset. But yeah,
They look
so
great.
the let's see. Oh
See
my
if we got any
God,
questions. Do we have
we
questions?
don't have any questions. Everybody's talking about calzones. Oh man, yeah. So I'm trying to figure out. It's really interesting because like I've worked here for long enough and I've known you long enough, but
Yeah.
I've never really
Realized all
sure.
that.
Well, I didn't. I mean, you've talked about all these things before, but like just the process and order of how legitimately difficult it is. Just, I mean, like if you imagine, like we're working on multiple builds and
Yeah.
going through our cars that are our cars and then getting consignment cars ready and
Yeah.
everything else that's going on, and then at night you're here till 2 a.m. most of the time, so like this is when you
Pretty
get
late.
your work done, like
Yeah.
doing this stuff.
Usually after 5:30, 6 o'clock, everybody filters out of here. That's
Yeah.
when I'm in here trying to answer all the emails and the questions. I got to look at, Facebook, Instagram
Yeah.
messaging, YouTube replies I got to reply to.
Yeah.
Facebook, all the posts, the Instagram posts. I go in there and look at all the comments on there and make sure no one's talking trash. Because if you are, I'm just going to ban you. So you might as well not do that because you won't see anything then anymore.
Ayo.
But yeah, I mean, that's when I usually am talking to people in Japan because that's the morning for
Yeah.
them. And I got to talk to them before the auctions start. So early morning Japan is,
Like
late evening.
7, 8.
Yeah, early nighttime here. And I'm talking to them about that. And that's when I talk to them about the cars that I'm interested in, and we'll filter them down. He'll go to the auction. Basically, it takes him like 2 hours to get
Yeah.
from where he lives to the auctions. And it's, I don't know, 20 miles, but it's Tokyo.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like nightmare traffic. It's insane. But I mean, it's fun. I like looking at the cars. I really don't know a lot about the pricing on cars that we don't really deal with. A lot of
Yeah.
people ask me like,
Hey, what can you get?
what about a, Integra Type R? And I'm like, I
don't even know what they
tell
go
you.
for. Yeah.
I don't even know because
I mean,
I'm not looking at those. I'm too busy focusing on the cars. I mean, like I said, I'm looking through hundreds,
yeah.
Of cars that I pull up that I've narrowed myself to look at. And I'm looking at all those cars. I get those down, put in my list. We get them down even further. It gets to the auction and get them down even further. We maybe win some, maybe don't. It's just.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's like you finally get down and narrow down what cars you really want to have, and then you don't even get some of them. Like it's
at all.
Yeah. Because
And
the price
that
goes up.
happens sometimes maybe for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I'll put in a lot of work and time, doing this, and then we don't even win one car for like 2-3 weeks, and then I'm like, damn, I need some inventory,
Well,
but then like I said, one day 3 cars, and you're like, whoa, okay, I gotta rethink things a little bit and see what's going on. So it's crazy. There's no rhyme or reason to it at all. It just, everything happens
It's hit or
the
miss.
way it happens.
Yeah.
So, and then also we might get some dealer cars. And they're a bit difficult because I can't really get pictures sometimes from the dealers, and I got to make a call on whether or not I trust what they're saying, that it's not rusty.
Yeah.
And it is doing good. I don't have my guy there. He's not going to drive 4 hours one way to go look at one car that we might not even buy. He can't do that. So, and a lot of dealers won't sell for export, especially like GTRs and RX.
Oh yeah. Well, they're getting really tight on that too.
Yeah.
Like that's why you can't get a Hakusuka.
They don't want to.
They don't want
to
to sell them out of the country.
They don't want them leaving their country, basically, is what it is.
Yeah.
They don't want them to leave their country. I mean, it would be like everybody selling their I don't know, 1969 Z28s, and all of them being shipped out to Germany, and the Germans just love them.
Yeah.
And they're buying them all.
Yeah.
And every single one of them's getting bought out, man. People are gonna be like, "Yo, my marrow, man. Don't mess with my marrow."
Chanting USA and chugging natties.
Yeah, man.
You have a Z28 because I feel like you did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes
I had
sense.
a 1971 Z28. Oh yeah.
Did you have a Supra?
LT1 350 with a Muncie M22 Rock Crusher 4-speed transmission?
You definitely didn't have a Supra though.
Oh no, I've never owned a Supra.
That's the joke. Yeah,
that's
like
a joke.
Chris is like, yeah, on my Supra. You know, when I was
man. I mean, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Made 760 horsepower to the wheels.
Yeah.
Back in like 2005. Okay.
So that's good numbers for 2005.
That's what I'm saying, right? I was out here on the streets, and a lot of people out here had like Camaros and Mustangs, right? And most of the time they'd see an import come up, and they would just destroy them because there's some guy in a Honda. No offense to the Honda guys, okay? I know a lot of people were Honda guys in the past, but I owned an S2000, so I can't really talk.
S2Ks are cool. They're like the that and the NSX are like the one Honda.
And really, I feel like the S2000's a better choice than the NSX. To be honest.
Yeah,
I've driven NSX.
Me too. They're kind of.
They look
amazing.
Amazing.
They're like the best looking car out there.
And I'm sure on a track, like it actually handles pretty good, but I'm just not built for it.
Yeah.
It's like so tight, and the
they're really slow.
Very tight. Yes.
Like they're meant for grip. Like they're not. I don't know.
They are. They're a road racing.
They're not. Yeah, they're not really.
They don't have that much power.
Yeah.
But it was impressive for the time when they came out, and it was naturally aspirated too. So you got to figure that.
Yeah.
Like, it did all right.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough dogging Hondas indirectly.
Indirectly. Oh man.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out there. They'd see the Supra come up and be like, "What is it? An Eclipse or something?" They don't even know what it is. And I was like, "It's a Supra, you know, we can run, whatever." And a lot of people got their feelings hurt. Yeah. And they would go and they bought nitrous kits, and they'd put nitrous on their car and come back out, and then I'd get like
you turn the boost
intercooler, bigger intercooler. I'd turn the boost up more. And they'd, maybe beat me. And then I'd be like, okay, time to get rid of the, stock twins automatic. Get rid of that and get me a single turbo 6-speed. All right, that's the one. Then I came in and just dominated. No one really wanted to run me anymore. So it was, I had a badass Supra. Okay.
Yeah.
And I do like talk about it because it's my main experience with high horsepower boosted cars.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got that from back then. I've had a couple RX-7s, a couple Supras.
Mm-hmm.
I had the S2000.
I had
the Camaro.
You apparently had
28 Camaro.
Apparently you had one with T-tops.
What?
You had a Firebird with T-tops.
I did have a Firebird with T-tops too.
Yeah.
1978 Formula Firebird. That had a 350 in it too.
Oh my God, is that a Supra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love my Supra. That was a badass car. I mean, I drove it every day. I would drive it every day.
They're great cars.
I mean,
and it's a Toyota, so it's freaking reliable.
It was reliable as crap, man. I mean, I rarely ever had to work on it. I mean, honestly, the most work I had to put into it was put some slicks on the back, drain the gas out, put race gas in, and turn the boost up. I mean, that's what I would do when I had someone serious challenge me.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun I used to have, but that's some of the backstory. That's why I've always been into these cars and everything. And
is that Supra, man? It changed your life.
But it was a good time.
Yeah.
So where were we? We got lost.
We're
importing dealers. Some don't like to export. Okay. But maybe you buy one from a dealer, then you got to get it transported. There's fees like inland transport from wherever it is in Japan has to be shipped to the port, right? So that costs money. whoever is your broker, that costs money. And then also these expensive cars, the R33 GTRs, R32 GTRs now are getting really expensive.
They're insane.
The R34 GTRs, okay?
It's just gonna skyrocket.
Yeah, and have someone pay for an R34 GTR, right? And by the time we settle on a cost, I'm telling it from basically Google how many dollars is this amount of yen, right? And then I get that money from the person. It's in the $70,000-$80,000 range, okay? So that's the exchange rate on this day. By the time I get that money and then wire it to Japan, it's changed like $2,000.
Yeah, because
Just
the exchange rate right now with the U.S. economy is like
crazy. All right, so I had to go back and ask, like, hey, it's not my fault. I'm buying the car, So but I'm saying it's tricky when you get into these big numbers.
Yeah.
$100,000 can become $103,000 pretty quick.
Yeah.
In one night.
But if you're talking like 10, 15,
when you're talking 10,000, it's an extra $300 or something.
Yeah.
It's like, it's no big deal.
It's not a make or break.
But it's tough. So we have fees for importing a car for you. Okay. Like I said, it's not our main way we do business. We like to buy the cars, get them here. But again, we're not going to buy an R34 and have it sitting in Japan waiting for a buyer.
Yeah.
Okay. We ain't got it like that. Okay. It costs money. So if you want a car like that, we can get it for you, but you're going to have to pay for it up front, basically.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And at least a year storage. But that it's secure in a safe place and all that. I mean, you better, because it's a lot of money. All right. You don't want somewhere going out of business or something.
Well, I mean,
so we only use really big companies in Japan that are been around since this is started.
I mean, the big thing with like the R34s now is it's not so much the car that it is the car that you're wanting. That's a car that you want, but it's more than anything, it's an investment at this point. I mean, because by the time they legally hit the States, they're going to be well over six figures.
Yeah, they're going to be 100,000 for just a regular one.
Yeah.
A nice one's going to be 150.
I mean, this is the GTRs.
Yeah,
granted.
R34 GTR. There's a GTT.
And those will be
less, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then you could always buy like the NA models and stuff like that, the less expensive ones. It's still the same body.
Yeah.
And then you can always put, whatever you want, RB26 in there. Yeah. Build it that way. And then you're going to put body kit and stuff on it anyway. So
it's like $1 million. I don't know. It's just crazy. Like the price of things.
It's been going insane, really.
Well, I mean, it's just because they made so many, or so fewer of them, though, too.
The 34s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the 33s, they made a lot less than the 32s.
32s are tons. The 32s like 44,000. Don't quote me on this. I'm not 100%, but for sure the R32 GTR is like 40, low 40s thousand. But that's a pretty good number.
Yeah, that's a good.
But still, if you put that in line with how many Mustangs did Ford sell last year in 1 year?
Like 2 million.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So take that number and put it into context of that. It's really a low number.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people want R32 GTRs.
That and the other difference is like they may have sold 2 million Mustangs last year, but this was 25, 30 years ago.
Right. So how many less of them are there on the road?
Like a lot of them are just destroyed too.
Crashed, wrecked, whatever, maybe.
I mean, half of them in Australia, so they're definitely total.
Oh man, yeah. Just being in Australia. But so yeah, the R34 is definitely a hot item right now, but very expensive. Get ready to open up your wallet and fork out some money because it's going to cost you. And I had somebody one time say, "Oh man, you must love that the prices are going up on these cars.
No,
And I'm like,
makes
no,
it harder.
I don't have 6 of them sitting in a garage somewhere.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not like your investment's going up.
My investment's not going up. It's more difficult. I have to spend that much more money to actually make like the same amount,
Yeah.
okay, of profit. Let's say at the end of the day, I used to be able to buy them for 15, 20 grand. Okay. Now they're like 27 to 40 over there. And this all depends on, you know, how nice it is, how many miles. I mean, there's some, you know, probably 60, 70 grand. You want a real totally stock low mile. And I mean like 20,000 miles or less, R32 GTR, you're going to spend 60, 80 grand on a really nice one.
Verified miles and all that.
Yes. Yeah. They're expensive. And we get a lot of cars in that don't have verified miles because we're into the modified stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's just what I like. So that's what I'm going to buy.
I mean, that's our thing. Like I think going back to what you said earlier with people always asking, why don't you have inventory? Because we're not like other importers where we just import.
We're not just pumping out cars.
Yeah. I mean, we import the best vehicle that we can find.
Number one. So that limits the market, right?
Yes, that limits the market. We really only do the cars that, you know.
Skylines, RX-7s. We like the Y32s.
Because they're almost all freaking perfect.
The Y32s.
Because they're grandma owned. Like they literally, you know.
But the thing is, you know, we'll get them in. We'll put the coilovers on them, which isn't an easy task.
No,
we've got a video on YouTube, actually, on the channel that you can go find on the how-tos or whatever. About, you know, how that's done, and it's not easy.
Like it takes
a lot of work to do. You got to weld, you got to cut
day.
and weld, and I mean, it's not just put it on your garage. I mean, honestly, it's not. And you better know what you're doing and get it lined up and everything, and know how to weld that right. It's involved. It's a pain in the ass, really. And the coilovers aren't cheap. I mean, we buy brand new Fortune Auto coilovers. Yeah. Little shout out to Fortune. Fortunes are nice. We got some over there.
It's literally right there. Fortune Auto hat.
Cool.
Right. Oh, there.
Get out of the way, man, right there. So we put the coilovers on them. We slam them basically with some 19s, and they look amazing. All right. I mean, before that, they look good.
Yeah, I mean, they're quality cars.
Once you drop them, it's just a whole nother.
Like there's something about they look very dated when they're at stock height, and then as soon as you just lower it down, it's like,
what happened?
Yeah,
same exact car,
totally
and you look at it and you're just like,
yeah,
oh damn, that's amazing.
Yeah, you know, Evan said quality over quantity, and that's legit. It's true. I mean, like, because we're not gonna sell something that we're not able to. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, you know, like. We go through every inch of the cars.
Yeah. And not to say we catch every single thing either.
Yeah.
I mean,
or that we can fix every
single thing. We can only fix what's wrong at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, 2 months later, something happens. Yeah. A year later, you know, we didn't booby trap it and be like, yeah, 360 days. Let me put this timer on here. And that's when I want the slave cylinder to let go.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're 30-year-old car, little rubber seals and things like this. I mean, it can happen.
And we know all the chassis that we work on because it's really a limited amount of chassis that we work on that we know the weak points. We know the weak points on all of these things.
Yeah, like we get an R32 GTR in. Okay.
Rubber control arms, Hicus joints.
And we're talking about the ball joints that are on the uprights, the rear uprights. Where it attaches to the Hicus rack, basically. And those right there, and it's tough, man. You got to push them out. We got a special
which I've got like 5 Hicus joints I need to change. So I can't wait to use it.
A lot of practice with it. We've got actually another one coming too from Frenchie's Performance that we're going to give a try. Sweet. And we got a bunch of stuff coming. Yeah, we're going to be a distributor. Oh wait, ABS pumps leak. Yeah. We'll eliminate the ABS a lot of the time.
Yeah, actually. Because like guys, it's 30-year-old equipment.
Yeah.
and technology. Same with Hike. It's like in its time, it was like breaking edge.
right.
But now it's 30 years old.
And
If your
Hikers will feel
alignment,
weird.
if your alignment is not literally perfect, that Hikers can throw you into a guardrail.
I've had
You
it
know?
happen a couple times where I was just driving straight down the highway.
Just
I'm
the whole rear
just
end.
straight down the highway, yeah, and it goes and comes out, and for that split second, you're just like,
Yep.
whoa, and it's a scary feeling because you did not have control of that car for that time, you know. So
I mean, FD
when it's
interiors.
working, it's nice.
Yeah.
You know. Oh yeah, FD interiors. Well, R32 GTR still.
R32,
The dash bubbles.
Dash bubble.
I mean, I'm
the
trying to
B4s.
look for nice ones, but man, I mean, 90% of them are bubbled some way or another. It's just the way it is. If you've got a really nice dash in your R32, keep it indoors.
Oh yeah.
Don't let that shit sit outside, man, because you got something special right there. But yeah, I mean, we go through them. We check all the fluids, replace fluids, spark plugs. We'll do a compression test. I mean, you know, if the molding is shot above like the window or whatever, we'll replace it.
Yeah. Any seals that we
Pillars
can
on the
find.
inside. I mean, you know, if it's a nice car, premium car, we're going to be selling for premium money. You know, we make sure that it's nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, the best thing is when people like get a car from us and they'll buy it sight unseen, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Someone's going to just be like, okay, I'll
That happens pretty often, honestly.
Okay, and ship me my car. And I'm like, okay, but you know, I go over the car with them, and no car is perfect. Okay, even the ones at dealer lots, I can go in there and show you scratches and dings. All right, and so I'll go over the car with them, any imperfections that might have, and make sure that they know what they're getting before they get it. And I'm pretty picky. So I pick out stuff and I'll tell people about it. I'll send them pictures, and then they get it and they're like, this thing is incredible, man. This is way better than I thought it was going to be. And I'm like,
well, the thing is like,
yes.
even sometimes it's happened before. Well, a lot of times, like me and CJ will finish polishing, buffing, and detailing a car. And we're like, we've looked at it for like 15 hours at this point, or 20 hours collectively.
Yeah.
We've been staring at every inch of this vehicle. We bring it out here, and Chris is like, hey, fix this, fix this, fix this, fix this, fix this, you know.
This window's not clean enough.
Yeah.
This trim isn't dark enough.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. I do nitpick them.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I want it to be as nice as we can make it. Really, I mean, that's all I really want is just. And the thing is too, you guys out in the back, the lights aren't as good.
Yeah.
It's
Well, we
started
detailing up here because
like the final detail.
Yeah. It's so much easier.
Like you can't see it in the glass in the back, and then you bring it up here, and it's like you can see some.
Well, every time I would like do the windows back there and would come up here, I knew I was just going to do them again anyway, so we just do it up there.
Yeah. So Dan putting in some awesome work, getting stuff done. Dan's a hustler. He's always hustling, doing something, working it out back there and getting stuff done. CJ, man, he'll buff the cars. Like that's a
CJ's like
talent,
that's like an art form.
It is. Like I don't,
because you have to like know exactly how much is too much.
What to put on there. You got to be careful on the edges.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nerve-wracking for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, I've tried it. I've done it before, and it's just not my thing. I'll just tell you right now, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
I like driving them. I like driving the cars.
Yeah.
But I mean,
you're
in the beginning, I did everything. Like, you know, I imported one car, and I got it ready for sale, and I put it all the way through the whole thing, and then I'd sell that car and buy another one, and then sell that car, take all the proceeds, and put all those towards maybe I can get two now.
Yeah.
And then I'd buy two and bring them in.
And then you would stress out about having two cars that you need to get done.
Oh my God.
2 cars worth of parts and 2 cars worth of this and that you have to buy. And
yeah.
So
I mean, it just became what it is. We've branched off some. Like I said, with this stuff right here, we can build whatever you want.
The import part of our business is still like
the main
part, but
not right now with
COVID-19.
Yeah, I mean,
Has that made it actually any more difficult?
Well, a lot of
Like
people
especially
aren't really
with
looking for cars to buy right
yeah,
now.
that's an issue.
The guys that we already had builds with,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're working on.
Yeah.
And that's okay because it's allowing us to like really concentrate on that,
Which
too,
is good.
which we needed to. And because it is tough, we're juggling cars coming in, getting them ready, customer builds, making sure we have all the parts. Maybe this part comes in, it's not the right part, we got to return that.
And then
do
and
that.
it's
Customer changes their mind. Maybe they don't want that part anymore. They want this part.
and it's so inevitable that like we just get down the line and we're thinking about we spend hours thinking about the parts that we need for these builds, and then we get to one
and
thing
like,
that
did we order that?
nope, we totally even forgot that. Like like it's we try not to do that, and we've been working on. I mean, our processes have gotten a lot better.
Oh,
and
way
smoother with
better.
that.
Way better.
But it's just like you're always going to need different parts, and you're going to
Yes.
need this one fitting that like
An O-ring,
that holds up
$1.
or a V-band clamp
Yeah.
that's a special size for the back of the turbo.
Yeah, we don't have the V-band fitting for it. Yeah, I know. And we're inventorying more and more.
Yeah,
of
we've
that.
got a lot of stuff.
We've got a lot of parts as far as inventory for like the importing part of it,
Yeah.
like extra interior pieces, especially for like RX-7s,
Mhm.
MR2s. That's another car. But man, it's hard to find MR2s.
Yeah.
There really wasn't that many. And people love them. People, I mean, it's
Freaking
like a
sick.
cult
Like I was
following. It
super
really is.
surprised with that car.
What, when you first
Like
drove one?
MR2s, yeah, dude. Especially the turbo.
They're nice. The black one?
No, I drove the red one.
Okay.
Yeah, but that thing, like, it's unbelievably like snappy and like responsive, and it's a light chassis with like
Yeah.
a 220 horsepower motor in it.
You just
and
need
it's
to know how to drive.
Yeah,
Because
Snap
it can
understeer's
come
not
around on you. But if you know what you're doing and you take a car like that to the track, you could really put in some times. You could like destroy people, to be honest,
yeah,
because you can use that to get through the turn.
yeah.
But you got to have
balls.
a big set of cojones, all right? Because you're like getting it sideways and shooting it through that turn. It's scary. But if you master that, you can be really fast. And there's like some Porsche guys, that's how they drive.
Yeah.
Fast. And there's some videos, man. Man, I wish I could find the one I saw. This car just seemed like it was all over the place. Guy's just like, and he's entering the turn. Other people are straight going through the turns. He's sideways like this, going through there, passing them. Right around him. It was an incredible video. I need to find that.
Yeah.
But he was my hero. I was very impressed with that.
Yeah.
Okay. We did the burnout. We did how to do the burnout video.
If you haven't seen that, go to our Instagram and check out the story. It's
yeah.
There's a little snippet in there.
Yeah, a little snippet.
Chris did a solid like 2-minute burnout.
It was solid. I'm pretty proud of myself, really.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
It was a sick burnout.
You were like, you were hoping for a fail.
Yeah, I was like, man, I really hope like
for a fail.
I really hope Chris was like, or Chris like kind of messed it up, because it'd be great vlog footage.
Nah,
like if you mess up a burnout, like
I wouldn't have let you put it on there.
It would have been on there. Tevin would have
put it on there before I even knew it.
Do you want to go through some questions?
Sure. What do we got?
All right. Let's see. When is your R33 coming?
And I don't have one yet, man. I'm putting every bit of money back into the business. Maybe we could start a GoFundMe. Maybe we can start a GoFundMe page
for all employees.
No, I'm not kidding.
All employees of Driver Motorsports to get a car.
Well, that's not right. For the Driver Motorsports R33 track car that we're going to take to VIR. It's an hour down the road from us. And we're going to run it. It's going to be pretty damn close to stock when we get it. And then maybe we add suspension, up the boost a little. Yeah, go through the different stages. Take it back. Yeah, that'd be cool. Get another track time, get another lap time. Yeah. We have our base time and we, log it and continue to build that car out. And then when we're done, we give it away to one of the people that have donated money through the GoFundMe page. But I'm saying this would have to be totally funded by these people. But we could do this entire build and series, and then at the end, it's one of theirs. It's not our car.
That's freaking smart, dude.
We didn't pay for it. So it's somebody's.
I'm glad we have this on like.
How does that? I mean, doesn't that
That's
sound
that's a
awesome?
smart idea. I'm glad we have it like written in stone, so like
So that we do it?
so we remember
Hey,
it.
no, seriously,
Yeah.
like
No, that's a killer idea.
that would be awesome. So I wish, believe me, I got my drift car that I'm trying to get going. I mean, that's enough.
And
Like,
he's selling
we
me
have
the
a lot of
motor. He's
time.
selling me the drivetrain out of it.
Yeah, I am selling. I'm selling in the SR20, and I'm going with a 1J with a R154 because I've been driving around the JZX90 that I did the burnout with,
Yeah.
and
He's been driving
I'm in
that
love
thing. Yeah.
with that power plant, and I can't imagine it in an S13.
Super light chassis, 26,
I
2700.
mean, the JZX90 is not that bad. It's like 3,200.
It's like 3,200.
A four-door big
But
car.
your car. I mean,
It's
the
gonna
cage
weigh
is-
like
it's-
2,500.
Yeah, but I mean, the cage adds some weight. But I mean, it's just completely gutted. So I mean, it'll probably still be like
2,500?
25.
26 maybe. Like that's light.
Yeah. It's gonna be. It's gonna be.
So I want to get the R33 GTR. Believe me, I want it so bad, but it's just not in the cards right now. I'm so busy anyway, getting all this, keeping all this straight, and making it run and making it happen. That it's tough. So it might be maybe a year from now
Yeah.
that I can. We need our YouTube to take off as well, because if we start making enough money off the YouTube, I'll just put all that money into sick builds.
Oh yeah.
Of just crazy stuff, man.
Just driver motorsports car builds,
Yeah.
just because, and then we'll sell them.
We'll raffle them off or something.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
we should do that. So, I mean, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because I mean, really, to be honest, I'm not all about the whole buy our T-shirts and you get entries.
Yeah.
And I mean, I see them so much on Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
Because they make a crap
tired
ton of
of it.
money.
I'm
doing-
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do. But I mean, it's a 1 in a million
Yeah.
shot you're gonna have. It's like winning the lottery. So you might as well just work hard, save your money, and buy your car. Do it the old-fashioned way. You earn it.
Any common issues on a GTST? Basically the same thing as an R32. Like as front
yes.
bumpers.
And one other thing, rusty gas tanks.
Oh yeah.
Rusty gas tanks.
On a
oh my God,
26,000
it'll kill you.
On a 26,000 miles, that's probably okay, but I'd still check it.
R33 has. I don't even know. I think they're plastic. I'm talking about an R32 GTST. We got the R33 GTST right out here right now. Yeah, just go see.
Yeah.
But the GTRs are plastic. The GTSTs, the R32, are metal. And we'll get a GTST in and start driving it. Be like, okay, feels good. Everything's running fine. Feels real good. Whatever. And then you start taking off, and as soon as it gets in the boost, it chops up on you. Okay. I know instantly. I'm like, oh man, it's the fuel pump is just clogged, the sock with rust, and it's just you can put a fuel filter on it,
and it still doesn't
fix
matter
it for like 20 minutes of driving, and then it'll come back. So be careful buying from other people too, because they can put a fresh fuel filter on there, and then 20 minutes of driving, and you're starting to have a problem.
And GTSTs with the RB20 coil packs, like all the
coil
time.
packs, they'll go bad a lot.
And the injector,
but like
injector clips on RBs in general, the injector clips for the coil pack clips. Sorry.
The whole gas tank thing is a big problem, because now what do?
Yeah,
you got a rusty ass gas tank. What are you doing? You got to try to find a replacement one that isn't rusty, okay? Or do what we do. It's a pain in the ass. You drop it.
Yeah.
You fill it up with, what do we fill it up with? I don't know. There's this tank stuff, okay, that you buy. You put it in there. You put some like chain in there, and then you got to manhandle that shit.
Not fun.
Move around, and you break off all the rust and everything, and then you let it dry, and then you put this stuff in there, and it coats it. Basically.
Yeah.
And you roll that all around in there, you tape it off and roll that around, and you got to let that sit for like 2 days because it still stays a little tacky. Let that stuff harden up real good, and then you got to put it back in. I'm saying, like, this is what it takes to just fix a rusty gas tank. So that's one of the main problems that I would say is a issue with the R32 GTST.
Yeah. Let's see. Do we do in-house body work? No, but
Somewhat.
sometimes.
I mean, if
Like
we're
we
fitting body kits.
like like aftermarket stuff, we'll
Yeah.
fit them. We still, when we take it to paint, they'll still go over our work and make it perfect.
Out, block it,
Um,
and make it so it's not ripped.
We make sure everything fits really well beforehand, so that takes a lot of the work off them.
We might have to build some
Yeah.
up here and there, extend it, maybe shave some to get the thing to fit right, side skirt or whatever. I mean, there's an art to it for sure. And then we've got some cool projects coming up. The Pandem Sylvia is going to be
Yeah, that thing's gonna
awesome.
be sick. Let's save
We
that
got the
for
wheels
video.
like
That's one of the wheels
Right there.
right there. Yeah,
it's
they're big
hot.
wheels.
It's hot.
Let's see here. Let's see. Thoughts on running AccuSump? I've never had experiences with it. I know friends with LSs because I had an LS 240 have had good luck with it, but
Yeah,
it
I
can
mean,
also still fail as well. So it's not. It's almost like
it's an extra
it's an extra reservoir. It's
reservoir
not.
of oil that when you start your car, you rev it up, you open the valve, you get pressure in there, you close that valve off. Now you got pressurized oil in there.
Or for like if you're drifting in higher RPMs, you can have it to where it's constantly.
Loss of oil or
So
low oil, it'll actually feed it with oil.
I know it helps with like oil starvation issues mainly, but I feel like if you're gonna, AccuSump would be an inexpensive way to fix an issue like that. But I feel like if you're worried about oil starvation in the first place,
Get a bigger sump.
Yeah, get a bigger sump, get baffles, or just go dry sump.
Dude, dry sump is so expensive.
And it's so expensive, but it's getting less expensive too.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we should come up with our own dry sump system. I don't understand why it's so expensive, but it is a lot of AN lines and fittings, which are expensive. So, but yeah, I mean, I say, personally, I'm going to stay wet sump.
Yeah.
Even on like this R33 that I make for the track, you're going to be in sustained G's.
I mean, you got good baffles in there. That's the main issue.
You just make sure you have a lot of oil and some baffles in there to keep that oil where the pickup is. Have an oil cooler. Okay, you got more lines out there. That's even more oil capacity. And then just make sure that your head is able to drain the oil back. 2Js, 1Js, you don't really have that issue. RBs, you do. You can put the drain back, okay, like the NITO or PRP drain back. It's on the back of the head and it drains it into the oil pan. And we've got some videos on that actually too, Josh.
Yeah.
Installing one of those. So
a couple people I've seen a couple. How can I add a turbo to my Nissan Cube? Don't
do that.
How's the process, like the financing process?
Financing?
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, you got to have like over 650 credit score. If you don't even bother, to be honest, or have a cosigner that does have a good credit score. Really over 700 is the best. We recommend most people go to Lightstream. They're an online bank. They're a division of SunTrust Bank, and they're awesome. Basically, if you have like a 750 credit score,
yeah, you're good.
You go on there, they'll like wire the money the next
in like
day.
15 minutes.
And they tell you don't even put a lien on the title. Don't even do a lien. So basically, it's like a personal loan. But they're banking on that your credit is good enough. You're not going to mess up your credit over this amount of money. So Lightstream is really good. If you have under a 700 but above a 650, we recommend JJ Best Bank Company. A little more difficult because they want to get an appraisal done of the car, and it just takes a little longer for the approval process and everything, but it can be done. So that's who we recommend for financing. We don't have in-house financing.
Yeah. Let's see. Would I be able to bring an import for the servicing and maintenance to y'all?
Depends on what.
Yeah, it depends what it is. I mean, if it's a
Honda,
probably not.
Or a Subaru,
probably not.
Probably not. Those are kind of two brands.
Yeah.
But we decided. I mean, basically, we're sticking with Nissan is our number one, and like Nissan from the '90s, all these from the '90s, early 2000s is about where we start cutting it off.
Yeah.
Like with Nissans, it would be 350Z, G35, we like working on those, but not necessarily the 370Z or the G37. There's just so many more computers on there, and we're just not into it. Like that's not our place. So, you know, the big three mostly: Skylines, Supras, RX-7s, and then like Evos,
S chassis.
240s, yeah, S chassis, and you know, S13, S14, S15. If you got one, we'll work on it. All the Skylines, every single Skyline ever made, we'll work on one of those. So, and then the Supra, anything with a 1J, anything with a 2J, anything with a 4G63, the 13B, you know, RX-7. We like the third gen RX-7s. So that's pretty much it as far as Mazda, and you know, the MR2s. We'll work on the MR2s as well.
Basically any 90s Toyota.
Nissan, Toyota.
They're all the same.
Yeah. And I mean, they're good.
Yeah.
I mean, 90s Toyotas are just some of the best built cars ever.
Yeah. Jeff said, "Why do you hate yellow cars?" We don't, Jeff. Your car's sick.
Yeah. We love yellow cars. What are you talking about?
So I like this question, so I figured
2 yellow cars.
One was a Corvette, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So I like this question a lot, so I figured we'll end it on this. When is Driver Motorsports getting their car show or a car? Hold on. When is Driver Motorsports getting their own car, a show car, or some kind of flagship?
Well, that would be that R33 GTR that we're going to make for the track. We're also going to bring it to shows.
Yeah.
It might have a little rock chip here, a little rubber stuck to it here or there.
But it's driven, man.
It's going to be used. It's going to be a show car that's actually used.
I think the other thing you could do is go back through some of our builds. I mean, Brad's car is going to be
that's the premier.
That's like going to be one of the most insane R32s in the world.
Tatro's
car is sick. Hunter's engine bay is sick, and after the aero gets on that car, it's going to be
insane. Cool. That's going to be wide body. Yeah. I mean, that thing's cool.
So I mean, like a lot of these builds that we're doing are going to be like
really nice.
I mean, they're showstoppers themselves.
They are.
And they're just.
And then we're fixing up Jeff's car, the yellow.
And Jeff's car is
that thing's nasty.
So cool.
The brakes, the endless brakes on that.
Yeah. The super, super rare, like one of a kind of deal. Brakes. Yeah.
And just, I love that color. I'm sorry. Yeah. I've always loved that car. The moment I bought it.
Yeah.
In Japan, the minute it got here.
I'm not a fan of yellow cars. I don't like Jeff's car.
Oh, I love it. I mean, you can't help but notice a yellow car.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry.
That's true.
Like, if there's a yellow car, you look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you've got a car that you want people to look at, paint it yellow. That's all I got to say.
Cool. All right, guys. I think that's
that was good. That was good. Successful. I hope we answered all the questions.
Well, I don't think we got to all of them. There's a lot of.
All right. Well, I'm saying these two, but as far as importing, titling.
Oh yeah.
Titled. Okay. Once they get here, all right, and we get them from port, we get them delivered here. We'll go through them and everything like we said, but then more work is titling the cars. Okay. And DMV, and it's a pain in the ass. And now it's even more of a pain in the ass than it was. It's becoming more and more difficult, it seems, to do this. But it's just, you got to adapt and overcome. So, but it is a pain in the ass to get your car titled with importation documents.
Yeah.
You take it to the DMV and you lay it out, and that person will look at you like you're insane. They've never seen anything like it before. And you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah, and they changed the laws here recently, so you can't do it at the post office that was used.
Well, we can't do it at the DMV.
Yeah.
We can't do it at the DMV. And it's because of the real IDs. They're making room. So they said, dealers, screw you. You can't do it. So we have to mail our stuff into Richmond headquarters.
Yeah.
And it just takes longer. I used to be able to go down the road here 20 minutes and get them done. And then if we get them back and they have mistakes on them, now we have to then turn around, mail them back, wait some more. It's
the process.
It's an hassle. And it's like this in a lot of states. Some states you have to have the car inspected by a state trooper. to title it.
Yeah.
Like it's serious, you know, it's a pain. So it's definitely beneficial to buy a car that's already titled here in the States.
Yeah.
And that's kind of part of our fee is what we charge for is
Yeah.
getting that done, getting it all imported, getting it done, making sure you don't get fined. If you don't get the ISF data in correctly, they fine you $5,000.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So you get fined $5,000 right there. I mean, it's not cheap,
Yeah.
you know? So, all right,
Cool.
we're good.
I think we're good. Guys,
man.
let us know if you like this format. We've got some pretty cool guests already lined up for you guys.
What do we got?
I'm not gonna tell them. I'm
Oh,
gonna
why
make them
not?
wait. I'm gonna make them wait.
Come on. We
We
need to get Sean Morris.
yeah, Sean Morris,
All right. Sean Kirby.
Sean Kirby, Dress Up Bulls. We got
We got dress up both guys.
TRP.
TRP.
Yeah.
Definitely Herman.
So
TRP.
let's leave it at that so they don't.
Okay. All right. We got more though.
Yeah, we've got a
Beyond
bunch of
that.
guys. So
So-
let us know what you think here. I know the audio was a little funky at the beginning. We'll get that figured out for the beginning of the next one. But let us know if you guys enjoyed this and if we can improve on it. Let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.
Bye.